Look, to me, this is one of those Browns moves that feels small on draft day, but actually says a lot about how this team is thinking about the quarterback position. Because let's be real, when you see Taylen Green landing in Cleveland as a sixth-round pick, your first reaction isn't, oh yeah, QB1 battle just got real. Nobody's looking at that and saying, boom, there's our week 1 starter. But brushing it off like it doesn't matter, that's a mistake too. The Browns didn't bring in Taylen Green just because they had a pick to burn. Cleveland is stacking that QB room with different profiles, different stories, different risk level, and, most importantly, different kinds of uncertainty. You've got Deshaun Watson, big contract, big name, plenty of experience, but also injuries, inconsistent play, and a whole lot of question marks. Then there's Shedeur Sanders, national spotlight, swagger, accuracy, strong college resume, and that feeling he might be better than where he got drafted. Dillon Gabriel's in the mix too, another rookie trying to carve out space. And now Taylen Green, probably the rawest, but also the most freakish athlete of the bunch. And then there's what he said about Shedeur, no fake rivalry, no headline chasing, no I'm here to take everybody's job nonsense. Dude kept it mature, said he knows Shedeur from Texas days, from camps, respects what he did at Colorado, and wants to learn from him and the rest of the room. And honestly, that matters, because that QB room in Cleveland can turn weird real fast if everybody's just chasing their own storyline. Quarterback in Cleveland ain't just quarterback. It's pressure. It's scars. It's a fan base that's been through it. It's a franchise trying to break out of a cycle. Every name in that room becomes a talking point, a debate, a comparison. So when Taylen comes in talking about learning, respect, building relationships, yeah, that's a solid start. Doesn't shake up the depth chart today, but it helps the vibe in that room. Now let's get to the real question. Why did the Browns do this? Andrew Berry gave the classic GM answer. Keep 3 QBs on the active roster, maybe a 4th on the practice squad. It's an important position. Injuries happen. You can never have too much talent. And yeah, sure, that's true. But it's also a polished way of saying, we don't trust anyone enough to stop looking. That's the reality. If they were 100% sold on Watson, they wouldn't keep investing, even cheap picks, in more QBs. If they believed Shedeur was the immediate answer, they probably wouldn't keep adding bodies. If Dillon Gabriel was the clear developmental guy, maybe Taylen Green doesn't even enter the picture. What Cleveland is doing is buying possibilities. And honestly, I don't hate it. As a Browns fan, I get it. This position has cost this franchise way too much, emotionally, financially, on the field. When you miss at quarterback, everybody pays. Defense pays. O-line pays. Run game pays. Coaches pay. Fans definitely pay. So if you can grab a guy with rare tools in the 6th round without giving up real capital, why not? That's Taylen Green. He's not ready, not even close. He knows it. Footwork needs work, timing's off, reads need tightening. And the turnovers? That's a big deal. Turnovers in college are bad. In the NFL, they get you benched. But the physical tools? Wild. 4.36 speed, explosive jumps, size, mobility, legit rushing production. That's not draft report athletic. That's real deal athlete. And the league is more willing than ever to take swings on that kind of profile. Because if it hits, the ceiling is different. Problem is, ceiling alone doesn't win games. Here's how I see it. Taylen Green wasn't drafted to compete with Shedeur right now. He was brought in to give the roster something no one else does. Shedeur is more of a traditional QB. Timing, accuracy, processing, pocket presence. Dillon Gabriel's got that distributor feel too. Watson, at his best, could create off-script. But lately, that Houston version hasn't shown up. Taylen Green? Whole different animal. He's a legit running threat. And when guys like Stefanski, Dorsey, Reese, whoever's cooking up this offense, look at that. The question isn't just, can he start someday? It's also, can we use this right now in certain packages? That's where the Wildcat talk comes in. I get it. Browns fans hear Wildcat and roll their eyes. Feels like backyard football. But the concept isn't crazy. A QB who runs like a back but can still throw? That stresses a defense differently. The real question is it worth a game day roster spot? Because developing Taylen is one thing. Activating him on Sundays for 3-4 gadget plays, that's another. Those plays better matter. They better be sharp, not predictable, not desperate. And let's be honest, Cleveland hasn't exactly been elite at turning creative offense into consistent production. So yeah, I like the idea as an option, but I wouldn't sell it as a solution. The best use of Taylen Green in 2026 might be way less flashy. Reps in practice, scout team, cleaning up mechanics, learning protections, slowing the game down, understanding that in the NFL, being the fastest guy doesn't automatically win you the play. Because at the end of the day, quarterback is still quarterback. Run a 4.36, all you want. If your read's late, your base is sloppy, your throw's off balance, your decision turns into a pick. Defenses will gladly take that. Now, about Shedeur, there's another layer here. Taylen's arrival isn't a direct threat, but it adds noise. And that matters. Shedeur already has to deal with Watson, expectations, a split fan base, national media watching every throw. Now add another rookie with a totally different skill set, and things get even more competitive. But competition isn't bad. If Shedeur really is the most NFL-ready QB in that room, it'll show. In meetings, in practice, when the ball has to come out on time. And honestly, comparing him to Taylen might even help him. Green is the better athlete, no doubt, but Shedeur is the more polished passer. If the staff values running the offense clean, protecting the ball, sustaining drives, Shedeur has a real path. Still, one thing's clear, the Browns are hedging everywhere. That can be smart, or it can mean they lack conviction. That's where I'm torn. As an analyst, I like stacking cheap QB bets. If one hits, it changes everything. As a Browns fan, I know the line between healthy competition and total chaos is thin. You don't want a training camp where nobody knows the plan. You don't want daily QB of the day headlines all August. That stuff wears people out and puts pressure on a coaching staff that needs to build identity. Cleveland has to figure it out, fast. Not necessarily publicly, but internally. There needs to be clarity. Who's actually competing for QB1? Who's a development project? Who's injury insurance? Who's a package player? Who's practice squad? If that's not clear, it turns into a circus. And Browns fans have seen enough of those. Best case scenario? Taylen buys in, develops quietly, becomes a legit project. Shedeur uses the competition as fuel and proves he fell too far in the draft. Gabriel pushes too. Watson, if healthy, shows something. Now you've got options. Not guaranteed answers, but real options. And for a franchise that's had stretches with 0 options, that's something. Worst case? Watson doesn't bounce back. Shedeur becomes a storyline before he's ready. Gabriel gets lost. Taylen flashes but turns the ball over and gets labeled just an athlete. Coaches try to please everyone, develop no one, and the offense starts the season with no identity. That's the fear. Because you don't build a QB by stacking names. You need a plan, reps, structure, patience, honest evaluation. So here's the question I'd ask the Browns. What's the actual development plan for each QB? With Taylen, I don't want to just hear elite traits. Everyone sees that. I want to know how you're fixing the turnovers, cleaning up the footwork, teaching timing, using his mobility without turning him into a permanent gadget guy, because that's a real risk. When a QB is that athletic, coaches get tempted to just use the legs. Short-term gain, long-term ceiling capped. If Taylen Green has a shot to become a real QB, he needs to be coached like one, not just used like a weapon. That's the key difference between him and Shedeur. Shedeur will be judged on running the offense. Taylen will be judged on physical upside. Different paths entirely, and the Browns can't mix that up. My honest take? I like the pick. 6th round, low cost, high upside, roster needs options. It's not a threat to Shedeur, and it doesn't mean they've given up on anyone. It's a franchise acknowledging instability at QB and refusing to sit still. But let's not act like this fixes anything. Taylen Green is a bet, an intriguing one, but still a bet. What matters isn't the combine, the speed, or the sound bites. It's development. And if there's one thing the Browns still have to prove, it's that they can actually develop a quarterback, because Cleveland's seen raw talent, big names, high picks, expensive vets, What it hasn't seen consistently is stability, structure, and growth. So yeah, Taylen showing respect to Shedeur, good sign. Browns talking about elite traits, makes sense. Creative packages, could help. But the real question is the same as always. Do the Browns actually know what they want to do at quarterback? Because if they do, this room could turn into something productive. If they don't, it's just another chapter in a story Browns fans know way too well. So let me ask you, Dog Pound, do you see Taylen Green as a legit long-term project? Or just a freak athlete for gadget plays while the real battle is Shedeur versus Watson?